Hello. Hey now. Ooh. Oh yeah. What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday to you. I am so glad to see you. I can't see through you, but to have you here with me, with Phil and me, usually. Phil's working on the Upshaws, and they must be shooting something kind of intricate because he be late. But hopefully he's going to show up for the show. Hey there, K9. Hey there, Ward Wilson. Hey there, everyone on Instagram. I just really want to take a moment and thank all the people on Instagram who are hanging with us in this landscape view. Because I know that on Instagram, everything is vertical. That's the way we started. But now, because so many people are like, but I still want to see you on Instagram, I got my phone. You see a little bit of it. No, there it is, right there in the corner. You see a little bit of it. I've got my phone really looking at us right here so that you guys can see us on Instagram as well. So I'm so glad to have you guys here. I can't wave at anybody because if I wave at you, I got to turn my back and I never like seeing people do that when they've got Instagram going, they got the phone going, they got the computer going, and they're looking in two different places. I just want to be right here with you and with all of you. So, how was your week? My week was good. Had a wonderful week. Let me tell you, Papa's House, the Wayans family new show, it wrapped up today. Their first season on Papa's House. And that Wayans family, you guys, I cannot say enough about them, how tight knit they are, how loving they are to each and every member in their family, how supportive they are, how I see the young ones come along hanging out on the set. And when they're hanging out, they're training. They're always teaching each other. There isn't one Wayans who is on that Papa's House set that is not working. All of them are working, each and every one of them. And it's really fantastic. Okay, now I got to turn because I want to turn the volume down. That all of them are working, and it's really fantastic to see that. Hello, everybody. Hey, Kelly. Hey there, Coco. Hello there, Annette. Hello there, Christopher. So glad to have all of you here. So I'm hoping Phil will show up. And if he doesn't, then let's get to what he and I were going to talk about. Oh, first, let me tell you about my week. Okay, let me finish. So Papa's House is so wonderful. And Papa's House is doing it's everybody's just loving it. They say they're watching it with their family, and I'm so happy for that. It's been a great experience working with the Wayans, and I look forward to next season. And my plan is that I'll be directing an episode. That's what I'm looking forward to do. That's what I'm looking. I'm making a change in my life. As I'm always talking to you guys about making your vision possible, I'm making a change in my life. So I'm going to tell you, I have made a commitment that I'm not going to be coaching on anyone else's television show or film so that I can be available to have the meetings I need to have for to get directing jobs, and I can go ahead and do the jobs because if I'm working another gig, I can't make my vision possible. And that is so important to me. And also I'm going back to acting. Did I tell you guys that? I'm so excited about that. My manager's really excited about it. And so I'm back on the horse in that arena, which I love because that's where I started. That's where I started my creative life. And I'm sharing so much of that with you because as Phil and I talk, every week about making your vision possible. We always want to show what we're doing in our own lives to make that possible. Phil's doing it because he's working on the Upshaws tonight. And I'm doing it because I'm sorry, babies. I was just looking to see if Phil had chimed in. Because I'm taking a break. If you don't let the universe know that you are serious about what you want to make happen, how is the universe going to deliver to you what you want? This is a lot of what we want to talk about tonight, right? If I continue to take roles or rather jobs, coaching on television shows and on films, then why would the universe ever think about bringing to me directing jobs? A, I'm not available. And B, I can't be serious about it if that's what I'm going to do. Now, mama's not stupid. I'm going to put out my my shingles to coach kids on a film. So if they have an audition, if they are working on a series and they need some coaching on the side, I definitely want to continue to do that because I love it and I'm friggin' good at it. And what I love about working with children is I love their honesty. They are authentic. Their wonderful, curious energy. I love working with adults too, but if I'm coaching, I got a thing with the kids. And it's been wonderful with the two children, River and Caleb, I worked with on Papa's House. They've grown so much. And all of that is fabulous. But let me do that on my own time, in my own studio, where you are right now and you're looking. Somebody said, I just love the room. Thank you so much, Miss Kelly, for loving my room. Let me do something right here, you guys. I love it too, and it's my studio. I also record my voiceovers in here too. But if we don't let go of what is the side gig in order for what you really want to happen, the universe will be very confused about what you really want to do. Now, if you're going to let go of the side gig, you got to make sure you're still bringing in money. Or if you're going to keep that gig, to make sure that you can be available for what you want to do. Now, I would keep the coaching gigs, but I'm not available to direct or even if I'm going to audition for an acting job because I'm always at the studio. So I've handled my money. I've got my other funds coming in, and I am making the plunge to do that. And I'll keep you guys informed about how it's going. And I'm just so excited about that. And the universe is so supporting me in that right now. And I'm just grateful to be able to do that. And let me tell you something, you guys. It's not easy to do. And am I going to be sailing through? I don't know. It's going to probably do like this for a moment. But I'm going to hang in there. And that's the thing. You hang in there. It's like, all right, I'm going to tell you this. When I was looking for love and I knew I wanted to be married, I had to stop dating knuckleheads. I had to stop dating men who weren't going to give me the love that I wanted once I got to know them. And I had to get over being sad. Rather, if I was sad in the moment, what I had to do was say, I might be sad that I'm not seeing Rick, just picking a name out of the universe, anymore because I liked him, and leave myself open for the one that is to come to me. Kelly asks a question. Have you always been so responsible and loving toward yourself? No, 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 I haven't always been. You know, I'm going to let him in, but I'm going to answer this. I do believe that you've got to go through some tough times in order. Hold on, baby. I'm answering a question right now, and then I'm going to bring you in. You've got to find out, excuse me, Phil's here, and let me come back to you. I haven't always loved myself like this or been responsible. No. When parents teach their kids to be nice, what we don't teach our kids to do is to love ourselves. So all my life, the young life, I was nice to everybody, supporting them and loving up on them and giving them the grace. But I wasn't giving it to myself. Once I started to give it to myself, baby, my life changed. I did meet the man of my dreams, so I'm married to, and he's wonderful. I did way back when I first started acting. And when I started directing, I started directing. Those things started happening. Directing theater, that was. I started meeting better people in my life. I am a Buddhist now, so I believe that finding a spiritual connection in your life, whatever that is, helps. I started reading self-help groups and that self-help books, and that really helped me understand more of who I was, what my shit was, and how I could put it to the side. Ain't nobody perfect, and I'm not perfect. I have my dark sides. I have some stuff I want to change, but knowing that gives me power. My power is that I can change. And that's the juicy thing about life. And I've gone to therapy. And honey, I got some great friends. That's very important. So hey, you guys, I'm glad to have you all here. And I'm going to bring Philly Willie in. Let's see what happens. Yeah, hey, baby.
What's happening?
How you doing?
Running, just running and doing things and jumping up and down, and all of a sudden it was 6. I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta put it together. But it's pretty good, pretty good. It's been wild. I'm back on the Upshaws. Hey, what's up, Coach Kelly, Quentin?
Yeah, I told everybody
tonight.
That's probably what was happening.
Yeah, so finished my episode of the Upshaws, my recent one, today, and it's fantastic. I love working on that show, working with those people. So good. Had a great scene with Kim Fields today. I just love that girl. And came back, have a meeting on Monday, and just trying to put some stuff together that's pretty special. So I'm sorry if I was a little tardy to the party.
Honey, don't even worry about it. The gang and I were sitting here talking about a little bit about the week. Papa's house is wrapped.
So what were you talking about? I know. See, Iona and I work with 2 different crews that actually work together sometimes, and they cross pollinate. So I'll be messing with my earpiece all night long because I just really got it in, and it gives me fits all the time. I've got to change it, but so forgive me.
That's okay.
But so we work with some of the same people, and they always say hello to me from her because Iona's working on Papa's house, and I'm working on the Upshaws, and so many people are just loving up on Iona and send her love, and it's nice. It's nice to work in a business where everybody knows kind of everybody, and they support everybody, and especially my family. It's been incredible. It's an incredible life.
Yeah, it's pretty great. The makeup artists are always like Stephanie.
Stephanie hugged me today. Yeah, Stephanie gave me a big hug today. I got a big hug from your sister. So Stephanie is so fantastic. Stephanie Burton actually is her married name, married to LeVar Burton. She's just a doll.
She's an incredible makeup artist and just a lovely woman. And also, oh gosh, Michael's gonna shoot me. Michael is well, yeah, he's well, no, he's not our DP, but Michael runs our cameras, and I can't think of what his title is, but I'll send it to you. Michael worked with the Superior Court, and he's worked with you in a couple of other shows. And I know going back, so it's so wonderful to have people. On Wendy Raquel Robinson is going to be a guest on our show too. I'm reaching out to Wendy to come, and Wendy sends mad love, and so.
God, I dig that girl.
So it's been good.
I shouldn't say girl. I've known some people for so long. I'm so old.
Vintage.
But I'm grateful.
Fine
Grateful to
wine.
have,
Grateful.
whatever. I'm
Mm,
grateful to have,
mm.
you know, you fool yourself however you want. I'm old. I'm only kidding. Um,
You taste like
I,
fine wine.
I just feel, I heard it. I heard that the first No, but I'm grateful to have had such a longevity, a long career in this wild. I call it. We've joined the circus, you know. So that's what's happened. Our father was in the circus, showed us the circus, and we've joined it.
We doing it. So I'll tell you, Phil, I, done a shortened version of what the week was about, and then just got started talking as I told everyone that I am no longer going to be coaching on television shows and
Mm,
films so that I can be available, since Papa's House is wrapped, that's my last one, available to take meetings for director, to go on auditions again, coming back to acting. And as I book, get gigs as a director, I'm available to do them.
mm.
And how important it is to let the universe know this is what you want to do.
Yeah, you got to speak into existence, man.
God, speaking to
Really.
existence, yeah, and to let go of the other stuff. I've also prepared myself financially. And
Hmm.
hey, it might be some ups and downs, we'll see. But the truth is if I continue to do that, then why would the universe ever give me another acting job or directing job? I'm not available. So I'm making myself available. I'm really excited about it.
Create the space, man. Create the
Mm-hmm.
space. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's very special. I think it's who you are, you know, and I think that sometimes that gets missed in doing what we think we need to do. And sometimes we do need to do these things. We actually, many times, we have to make the rent and keep the lights on and the door open and stuff like that. But when you feel that it's not your authentic self, not your truth in a way, or only part of your truth, then you know you have to make an adjustment. So I'm glad you're making that adjustment.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't felt, hey, Christopher Barrett, I haven't felt judged about going to work. And it has nothing to do
Mm,
with the people I'm working with or the show. It has to do with that's not my creative world. That's not
right.
feeding me. And so, and I want to be fed. You guys, I don't know if we've talked about this, maybe we have, but I got really sick about a week before Thanksgiving at the end of the year. And when they took, during the 10 days, they were trying to figure out, well, what in the heck is wrong? I thought about, wait a minute, how many more summers do I have in my life? What am I doing with my life? How am I spending my days? Am I giving to myself what I really want right now? A little bit of it, but there's so much more. And that's why I'm taking this plunge. And I've done it before in my life when I was a secretary. I stopped being a secretary and just did theater, hoping, oh, I'll get into television. And it was rocky. And then once it happened, I was sailing for many years doing that. It's the same thing that on how I ended up directing theater. I said, for a moment, I just want to stop acting, and job after job after job. So I'm looking forward to what's going to be coming next.
I I wholeheartedly support all that you just said and are about. It's it's been, I think, the way I have been successful in the last few years. You know what I mean? I manifested the fact. I had a friend of mine over today, Billy Gallo. He's a great actor and director. He owns an acting studio down here called the Manhattan Actor Studio. New York actor, brilliant cat. And we were talking about manifestations, and I told him that ever since I had done a seminar at his place that I created, I haven't stopped working. I haven't stopped
Mm,
working, and that's over 5 years ago. And it was a matter of I was done with um, being frustrated by the industry. I was done being um, hard done by. You know what I mean? Not getting jobs and feeling frustrated, or trying to put projects together that didn't come together, or it was difficult to come together, or you weren't getting agreement, or whatever the hell I was going through. And I decided that I was going to do this seminar mainly for me, but I wouldn't allow other people to show up and and engage. So I did that, and it opened up so many things for me because I was really listening. I was really asking
Mm.
myself questions. I was really not knowing. I didn't bring knowledge to this workshop. I brought curiosity. I brought a healthy. I needed to know. You know, and it showed me what I needed to do. It freed me to do the things that I needed to do in order to take the next steps in my career. I'm very much in that place now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk on this show about what's possible, the vision is possible. So many things in my life are possible, but I don't think that they're possible without my own vision of it, my own
Mm-hmm.
understanding of it, my own acceptance of it. And I haven't talked about this, and I was trying to talk to her. Maybe we did. I'm not sure. But I came across something the other day. Maybe we haven't, because I don't know. This might be new for you.
Okay,
So I
let's
came
share.
across a bit of a revelation the other day as I was preparing my stuff for the Upshaws, right? And I'm thinking to myself, Phil, you got to bring your A game. You got to be the best man. You got to show them. You got
Yes, we
to.
did.
Okay, we talk about this.
Oh yeah,
So I'm
that's
gonna share
part of
this.
it's part
All
of our
right.
conversation tonight is about.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm thinking, oh man, you got to really bring the thing, bring the heat. That's why they called you, the contract you to blah blah blah. Then I thought, no, no, no. It's not for me to show them anything. It's not for me to bring my A game. It's not for me to reinvent the wheel. It's for me to be the wheel. It's for me to be the best wheel that I can be in the machinery and contribute whatever it is that I have. That's the special sauce. It's
Mm-hmm.
not because you're thinking you're going to do this or that. It came across as very Zen thought to me that you can't be better. You can only be. I can't be better than I was yesterday. Yesterday doesn't exist. Today exists. I can be the best I can be in this moment. Excuse me. Nor can I be worse than I was yesterday either. This is the moment that I exist. Who am I going to be? How am I going to be? How am I going to feel? What truth am I going to bring? What authenticity do I have? As I was thinking about those things, man, I felt peace. I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
prove anything to anybody, not even myself. All I have to be is myself and work my whole life to see who that is, to read, to experience, to love, to excite myself, but not to fool myself into thinking that I have to be better or more than I am in this moment. To accept the fact that I am brilliant and beautiful and horrible and dark and giving and selfish and lacking and in abundance. I'm all of those things. And as I bring those things and I don't deny them and I don't fear them, I have an incredible calm. And I went to work today and I felt so good. I felt so present, so alive. And I was working with Kim Fields, as I said. And Kim is really the actor part of the program on the show, The Upshaws. I mean, Mike Epps is a great actor, and so is Wanda, but they're mainly comedians, right? So Kim is an actor from the day she was pretty much born,
Yeah.
and it was
Right.
lovely to work with her. And we came upon a moment where we're just not even in the shooting; we're just running the lines. And my character is a pretty interesting character, and I'm just laying out the truth to her about the deficit and detriment of being a good person versus being a person who's willing to do whatever it takes, right?
Mm.
And it was so direct, and it wasn't about comedy, it wasn't about jokes, it wasn't about punchlines and rhythms. It was just two people talking and somebody saying to her the truth of something. And as Iona's looking at me right now and listening, so was Kim. So much so she forgot her line. She didn't even realize that she had a line because she didn't think she was doing a scene. She was just listening to another human being speak to her.
She's having a conversation.
And I'm telling you now, I want to live in that space.
Mm.
Not just as an actor, not just as a personality, but as a person, as a human being, in my relationships with my sister, in my relationships with you people, in my relationships with my family, my workmates, my compadres. Um, it's freeing when you are in that space, and I'm just new for me. So it's a new revelation. But I feel when you are in that space, then you are at peace. You know,
Mm-hmm. That is
you
so
get
good,
yourself.
Phil. Yeah. You're not
Mm.
proving that you are worthy.
Mm-mm.
You are just
Mm-mm.
because you exist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Mm-hmm.
it's a It's almost like a child's way of thinking. Children aren't trying to be nice. They're not trying to prove anything. They're not trying to be anything different than what they are in the moment. Little kids, they just are. And we grow up. I feel like I know I grew up, and then all of a sudden I'm challenging who I am. I'm being trying to be nice to people. I'm trying to figure out who am I. And
Mm.
I came here with that knowledge. I came here being free. I came here being enough. I came here with all of this talent and ideas I have that I can nurture through life instead of struggling to look for who am I? When Phil and I were talking about that the other day, you guys, just we often do talk about what are we going to talk about for the show, or either this was a conversation we did have, and it was like, yeah, that's good to talk about. So much and for so long, so often in our lives, we're looking for our purpose. We're looking to figure out who am I. We're looking to figure out, I wonder if I'm good enough. And instead of just taking a breath, breathing, and just knowing if you are here on the planet, you are supposed to be here. And you are enough. There's always more to learn. If you need to learn more, learn more. Nothing is perfect. And when rugs are made, there's always an imperfection in the rug because nature is not perfect. When rugs are made over in Arab countries, they put a little imperfection in there. None of us are perfect, like Phil said, and I mentioned earlier. Dark and light sides, it is the balance. Savory and sweet, it is the balance. We need to get off our backs and stop wanting a perfection from us that does not exist. I'm looking here for a few things that came up. Okay. Yeah, that doesn't exist. And too many times. I know I did that through my life, you guys. It took me a long time before I gave myself a friggin' break. Before I decided that I was enough. And as a matter of fact, that's when you came in, Phil. That's kind of the conversation about therapy, self help groups, my spiritual life, and age, wisdom, baby. Wisdom. My husband said
Yeah.
on my birthday, he said, she's got that fucking attitude now. From the age
Time served.
Time
Time
served.
served.
That's right. I've got PhD in life.
Mm.
And sure, it has something to do with age, but also I would love to have given that gift to myself when I was younger. I'm not complaining, but if there's anyone younger, and there are plenty of you who are listening, take this gift. Give yourself a break. And know that you are enough. You are worthy. I really like what you said, Phil, about coming to the workshop with curiosity. Because that opened up you not only to share what was in your heart and mind and spirit, but to listen and receive, to bounce off of the students who were there and what they had to give. And what might just come up right in the moment of, wow, I hadn't thought of sharing this with you guys, but because I'm curious and open to what is possible, new things come up.
Well, good teachers, not saying I was a teacher, but I was certainly a guide, have to bring a certain curiosity. You can't bring found knowledge all the time. You have to bring your sense of inspiration and motivation that made you follow your particular subject, whether it's history, geography, whatever it is. You have to have a passion for that. You have to have a curiosity about it in order to be the best imparter of information, because you're dealing with an audience, and every audience needs to feel as though they're connected to you in some way.
They don't want to feel talked to.
No, they want to be a part of the program. Even if they're not an aggressive or an active, even if they're passive, they want to feel as though, like every great teacher, when you're in a room with many students, you feel as if they're addressing everything just to you. That everything is just for your consumption. That's not true, of course, because they're speaking to everybody. But when they're good enough, when they're connected, when they're in the truth, authentic, then they give that to you. That resonates in you. You relate to that. So that seems as though, wow, that was the lesson just for me. That's a lesson for everybody. But we're all in the similar situation where we need something. We're listening for something. We're trying to connect to something. And when they make that connection through their own inspiration, their own motivation about that subject, that thing, we're all the better for it. You know, it
It's
that
an
workshop gave
exchange.
me work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
I was there to give
mm-hmm.
impart information and experiences and things, videotapes, blah, blah, blah. I had a whole curriculum going on. I had to cut that short because it was working so well. It worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The
Yes, I
truth.
do.
It's like Advil or any painkiller you take, headache medicine. You're like shoulders hurting, sore. It worked out a little bit. You take the Advil. You're like, oh, I gotta take that for my shoulder. Okay, shoulders. It's good. It's good. It's good. But my ankle that was a little dodgy. That feels good too. Wait a minute. How does the ad? Well, the Advil doesn't go to your shoulder. It's an overall thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing these things that we're talking about, when we have experienced them ourselves, it's not a surgical mission. There's an overall wellness that happens
Mm-hmm.
as a result of these realities, these teachings. And that's what we're looking for. We're not, you're looking for it in one way, but then you get so much value in so many other areas because it's just truth, you know?
You're doing it together. We're all in this
Yeah.
together.
The truth resonates. So it'll resonate through the problem you're having over here, over here, over here, over
Yeah.
here, you know? It's like
Yeah.
smoking. It don't know to stay in the no smoking in the smoking section.
Right,
It gonna go in the nose.
right,
How it know
right.
to stay in the no smoke? How's
It
that? It don't
filters
know that.
out.
It doesn't
Oh shoot, you made me laugh. I forgot what I was gonna say.
know that. I'm sorry.
No, 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 no. Yeah, yeah. Don't entertain me. Don't entertain me.
Please be boring.
It's like oh shoot, what was that? It was a really good thought. It'll come back to me. But it's giving up control. It's
Mm-hmm.
surrendering in a way to the moment of what's happening. Not that there isn't a foundation of a plan for the day, for the workshop, for your job, for a date, for whatever it is, but there's an element of not holding on so tightly that that you don't allow for something new to come up, for some new surprises to come up.
Mm.
I know that I'm finding that, and I'm finding that a lot when I'm directing, like when I was directing in Boston last year, that one man show. And what was so cool is to give up to the surprises of a problem that might come up. That in the moment you think, oh my God, this is a problem, and I'm like, this is not a problem. It's probably opening us up to something we hadn't thought of. It's probably bringing in a new idea in the moment, or I've made a plan of how we're going to do something, and then come back and look at it, and it totally shifts.
Oh, yes.
And it's just it's opening up to that and doing it together, not having a
The great,
dictatorship in that moment.
right? The greatest experiments, right? When they go awry, something else is discovered.
Right.
You
Right.
know. So what's perfect?
Right. Right.
You're there for a reason. Make use of it. You're
Exactly.
there for a reason. We're in this place to have an experience. How are you gonna have it?
Hmm.
What are you gonna do with it? How are you gonna honor your ancestors if you're into that? You know what I mean? Whether you're into it or
Mm.
not, how do you honor those that came before you? What are you gonna do? What's your life gonna be about?
We're in a very a challenging time right now in our country. Different, I know for me, different than what I ever thought. And I know that I need to pivot. I need to look and flow with life that is in a better way, that's for me and those around me. it's kind of like when you go to a party and it is not, it's not what you think it is. So pivot, pivot so that you can have a better time. You can be more successful. And that's what I'm finding is is something that I remember when I was younger. And if nothing happened the way I thought it was supposed to, it would unnerve me because I think that I was making a mistake. But somehow that mistake or that something different is just what was needed for the moment, not the plan. I made this is okay, this is a little thing, and Annette, I love what she has to say, but this is a little thing I did, you guys. And you might want to do this. So I was making some vegetable soup, and I picked up my spice and I put it in my vegetable soup, and it was curry. And I went, "Oh no. I don't make my vegetable soup without curry now. It
Bah.
is so delicious." But because that little mistake turned into something wonderful. Annette
Mhm.
says, mistakes makes geniuses. Those yellow post-it notes that we all use came to be by an error at the manufacturer. Really? Annette, can you expand on that and tell us, was it supposed to be blue or it was supposed to be white and then it came
Or
out
they were
yellow?
supposed to be big sheets, and they made little short cuttings of them.
Right,
It was
right,
supposed to happen. Anyway,
right,
yeah,
right.
yeah. We'll wait for that answer. We'll wait for that answer. But
As we go on.
it's like that. I've said this before. I studied with a great yogi named Sadhguru, and
Mhm.
I've sat with him a couple times. At any rate, he says people come to him. They always want their life peaceful, calm. I want quiet, quiet. I want my life to be easy and just, just so. And he's like,
Mhm.
okay, let me ask you some questions. Um, what kind of movies do you like? And they're like, I love action movies and I love all the bells and whistles and the blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's interesting. What kind of books do you like to read? Oh, I love detective novels. I love suspense and mystery. And, what kind of music do you like? I love rock and roll. But you want your life to be calm and placid and easy.
Mhm.
You see, what we want in our entertainment is not what we're looking for in life, but that's exactly what you want. You should want in your life.
Mhm.
All the bells and whistles. Take the ride. Leave leave nothing in the tank when you leave. Dance like no one's watching. Sing like you're in the shower. Oh, you heard it all. You know why you heard it all? Because it's true.
So
It's
true.
true.
It's so
Carry your music
true.
with you. Be
Yeah.
foolish
Yeah.
when it's appropriate. Or um, you know,
Part
I mean, what are the most? If anybody's a sports fan, what are the plays that you like the most? The ones that are just perfect, or the ones that are like off him, touch over here, tip, a
mhm.
touchdown? You're like,
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
incredible.
Mhm.
So we should accept the imperfect as perfect, and that
Mhm.
there's so much more to gain from every moment, and not just the ones that you're thinking are supposed to be the perfect ones.
Mhm. That's so true. Okay, Ned has come back with an answer. She says, "Yep, my buddy from church years ago worked explaining it was supposed to be a glue type product and ended up just being sticky." Ah, see, look at that. Look at that and how that happens. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is some of my best growth have come from heartaches.
Mm-hmm. That's like when you
Growing
make a friend after you fought him. You're young
right,
on the
right, right,
schoolyard. You're like, I
right,
hate
right.
you.
I hate you.
Ah! A year later, y'all are tight. Can't be separated.
Right, right, right. Or or how many movies have you seen? If you that they're fighting and then go, oh, that's the sexual tension. They fall in love. Let me tell you this. So my husband, so Minyongo and I had met years ago, and then we didn't see each other for 10 years. Then we see each other and we meet, and he calls and he's asked me out, and I'm not available. I can't go, and I think it was about a month and a half later, and he calls me, and we finally can go out. He says, "Can you go to dinner tonight?" And I said, "Yes, I can." And I lived at Park La Brea at that time, And in Park La Brea, there are all these apartments and there are people everywhere. And I told him where to go to meet me. And there were a lot of people. He said, "Well, I don't know if I remember what you look like." My husband's terrible memory. And I say, "Well, I tell you what, I'm going to be wearing a blue shirt. And if you don't like what you see, then you can just keep moving." He went, he couldn't wait to get there to find out
Mhm.
who is this saucy woman? What is she? And you just some of the auditions that I booked early on, Phil, when I was acting, I would blow the audition and I start to laugh and go, "Oh no, I mean," and I know why I got the job. Not only, yeah, I was good, but also they knew that I wouldn't go crazy. I wouldn't get upset. I wouldn't, oh, and what a flummoxed. It's not brain surgery. It's okay. There was years ago they did an interview when people used to always read magazines before there was the internet. And they asked men what did they like about women, and one man said he liked a woman. So we wore nylons. He said, "I liked a woman. I like a woman who has a little tear in her nylon. I want to know she's not perfect. I don't mind if she's got a little food on the side of her mouth. I want to know she's not perfect or if her hair's a little messy."
Makes us interesting.
Makes it interesting.
Makes it interesting. We've been talking a little bit about, real quick, as a segue. Um, Annette had said that she thought that the sticky note was invented by one of the monkey's mothers. That's not true. One of the monkey's mothers, Michael Nesmith, by the way, invented whiteout. She was
That's what
the
it was.
inventor
White
of
out.
whiteout, and
Okay.
so that's where that so we don't get our facts, missed and messed up. But regardless, what's whiteout? Whiteout is to correct your mistakes. That's why she invented that. So we're just talking about, see, she made $1 billion industry out of our mistakes, people. You tell me that's not perfect?
So mistakes are really good.
Made this woman a lot of money.
A lot of money. A lot of money. That's
So
family
dumb.
money.
That's so dumb. Um, See, that's our show, people. That's what we do. We just make these connections.
I think that that's so true. I remember you guys when I was looking for an apartment and I made a wrong turn in Los Feliz. I early on, I way back when I would just look at for places that had signs, and I made a wrong turn. But I saw a card on the top of a light pole with an arrow. I mean, a 5 by 8 card on the top of the light pole pointing to the left. So I made a left. Went down a street I didn't think I was supposed to go down. Found the best apartment. I bring that up because we so much, especially in our Western culture, again with our conversation of perfection, looking perfect, being perfect, not making a mistake, or you make a mistake and someone's going to chide you, or you're going to really get on somebody else's case when they make a mistake because they may make you look bad, or they should be perfect. We need to lighten up. Someone makes a mistake, it's an opportunity for you to help them learn in that moment how to do something right. And who knows what the two of you can exchange in that moment. And also, you're making them feel better. And I guarantee you, it's going to make you feel good because you helped somebody in that moment. Someone tells you, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late. I'm on my way there." "Oh, okay. Well, you're supposed to." No. Drive carefully. I love you. It's going to all work out. We got to do this together. Too often, we turn things on me, on us, the reflection of what someone else does onto you, as opposed to make it okay. Let it go. And truth be told, someone can make a big enough mistake where it could mess everything up. Well, then you got to deal with that. But you know what? Do your best not to internalize it into you. You can help the person above you who's getting on your case by you calming down and helping them know it's going to be all right. We need to do that more in our country. There's so much, I'm feeling this tension, and we need to woosah. I love that woosah. We need to woosah not just for ourselves, but for others around us too, and see what happens from that. Got to keep that blood pressure down.
Oh, yeah, you need a clear heart and a clear mind, and you have to look at it with clear eyes. You can't let the situation, whatever it is, whether it's the political situation, whatever situation you're in, rule you.
No, we
You know, you have to find your equilibrium in every relationship you're in. You have to find your equilibrium in every job you're in. You find your equilibrium every time you wake up and walk out the door. You have to figure out, how do I make this work? How do I make this happen? Every day is that. There's until you die, you don't take a day off.
can't.
Trust me.
Ah,
It doesn't matter whether you take a day off from work. You ain't taking a day
right.
off from life. So I want to try to accept, especially the things that are difficult for me to accept, that I must accept because they are real. And why don't I like them? Because of my ego, because of my comfort, because of my situation, because of my story. Well, my story might have to change. My story might have to adjust.
Mm.
It might have to um, make room for a new reality. A lot of times that's called growth.
Mm.
You know,
Come on, Phil.
and it's very hard to grow. And sometimes you're forced to grow through situations and circumstances that you certainly wouldn't choose. Um, but that's how some of the best growth in my life has ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
When I've been put in situations that I did not feel I could get out of, or I did not see an easy answer or out. And it forced me to use muscles that I hadn't really worked on before
Mm-hmm.
to find the answer. It forced me to go seek help. It forced me to look outside of my comfort zone in order to accept this truth. And we certainly going through a lot of that right now, and know that with this situation that's happened here in California, um, that all the things we talk about, all our hopes, all our dreams, all of them, can be taken away in a heartbeat, in an instant. So don't hold it too precious. Don't think it can't happen to you. Don't think that it's guaranteed just because you were told tomorrow's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up taking it for granted. You go to sleep taking it for granted. And if there's a lesson I've learned through all of this, it's to value the smallest of things, to appreciate the least of us, not just the best of us, but all of us, because everybody was affected. Those that have worked their whole lives and have lost everything, those who had very little and lost that, people who have they have studio, they own lost it, gone. So Mother Nature did not pick and choose. It wasn't because you're rich. It wasn't because you're white. It wasn't because you're black. It wasn't because you're Asian. It wasn't because you're transgender. It wasn't because you're poor. It was because you were in the way of me. You were in the way of me. And it doesn't matter who you are.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in the way of Mother Nature plays no favorites.
Phil, I went to Altadena, to look at homes, the ruins. I wanted to see what people had gone through. It was amazing to me how much vegetation was left, how many homes were completely gone, but the foliage in the front of them, it was there. It was interesting to see. A girlfriend of mine, her family had a koi pond with, must have been 15 koi, It survived in the Palisades. So Mother Nature, she's we don't know where she's moving or how she's operating. And you're right. It's like with COVID, we didn't matter who you were,
Mm-mm.
what you had,
Play no favorites.
playing no favorites.
And one of the
I,
things that keeps go. So ahead, yeah, sweetie.
I
Go
was
ahead.
going to
I'm listening.
bring up here what Colso was saying. He saw a viral clip of Jesse Eisenberg, the actor, responding to questions, speaking about how the rich and powerful should spend their days helping people and helping the world. Um, and Christopher Barrett says it's a blessing to give, and it doesn't matter whether you're rich or not. You can give in so many ways. It's a blessing to give more than receive.
Yeah, I have an issue with should. You know, who am I to tell anybody what they should do?
I'm with you in that.
It's a good idea. It's a great sentiment, and I hope that it occurs. And to a great extent, a lot of people who have a great deal of money and power do give and they do share.
Yes, they
But the
do.
should thing is not my business. Do you know what I mean? It
Well, we
just isn't
can't,
my business.
and we don't
I
know what
want people
people do. We don't know
no,
what a
or
lot
what
of
they
people
have.
do or what they have. They most people who give do not make that known
Exactly.
of what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would like for that. I would like for this to. I would like for this to. I would like for that to. But they should. Like you're the arbiter of what people are or aren't doing, or will or won't do, or should or shouldn't do. I don't really like it because I don't like it from on any side of it. I don't like liberal thinking that way. I don't like conservative thinking that way, because the world works as we've just talked about. God, Mother Nature works in its own way. It will purge. It will heal itself. The one thing that gives me hope always, is that I feel that the universe cannot abide a lie. I think I've said that before here. The universe cannot abide toxins in it.
Mm-mm.
It will purge it.
Mm-mm.
Whoop. You know, it will cleanse itself. The ocean will clean itself. The rivers will clean themselves. They always come back. You know, drought happens and then they have floods, right? So there's this great balance that Mother Nature has that isn't on our time schedule. It's on its. And I trust it. And I trust that in as a microcosm of our whole human experience, that we will hopefully, at the end of the day, when all is said and done, all those things you want to say, that we can't abide a lie either. And that enough of them will create action. They always have in human existence. I
Yep.
believe they always will.
Yep.
So we'll abide
Mm-hmm.
it to a certain point, and then we won't.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be tough, but that's what happens. And I feel that the universe always stands on the side of light, you know, even though there is a nighttime.
And oftentimes the nighttime is longer than we would like for it to be, but it
Sometimes.
definitely does. And I think it's a great sentiment to say to those who have more, um, share. I think the should is creates a pushback, but I do believe that it is good if you to what is I'm going to vouch it, but too much is given, much is expected.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that is a good thing to share what you have created and what you have in your life in your own way, and how Jesse feels, not casting any aspersions or downing whatever, however he wants to believe what he thinks. But I do think too that to put people in that place of should pushes all of us back in some way.
Well, it just doesn't allow an open door for those that are powerful and rich. It's like, well, what, you just let's just encourage as opposed to chastise.
Hmm. That's
Let's
a good one. I would like to encourage everyone to share.
yeah, yeah. Man, that
Yes.
would be beautiful. Like Chris says, it's a blessing to give.
Hmm.
That's encouraging to me,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
And people have a hard time understanding or where they can fit in and how they can really affect change. You
Hmm.
know, all of us, whether we have great resources or we don't, how do we use those resources so they're put to their best effect? Is it my physical manual labor? Is that what I have to give, and how do I give that, and where do I give it so that it's valuable, and it's not wasted. So it doesn't matter that you have it; it's how you impart it,
How you impart it.
and where you place it.
I got a card from a crew member um, from one of the films I worked on. I can't remember. I thought I had it right here, but I don't remember which film it was. And he wrote me this long, beautiful message of what my smiles did for him every day. My hellos, my asking him how he was doing and waiting for an answer. I didn't give him any money. I didn't do it to get anything from him. But that is something that that I gave to him. That really, he said there were times when he was having a tough day, and I didn't know that. But it changed for him. And so I encourage everyone when I say that, so you don't feel like, oh, I don't have the money to give, especially to the victims, to those right now in California who are going through so much, and North Carolina, and other parts of the country, so many going
Yeah,
through so much.
yeah.
But just your prayers, just your good thoughts into the air, just your smiles, truthfully, to people who you are around every day. It filters out, you guys. It's what creates great energy. It's like, you know how it is when you walk into a room and you're like, man, there's good vibes in this room. You may not know anybody, but it feels good. And you know when you walk in a room and you're like, ooh, I don't know if I
Hmm.
want to be in here. Nobody has said a word.
Looking for the exit.
It's energy. Yes, yes. Looking for the exit. Soul Singer says, no one is perfect, and errors are a natural part of learning. The most successful people in the world have made countless mistakes, but what sets them apart is their ability to reflect, adapt, and improve. Very well said, Soul Singer. That is the truth. As I have shared, Disney went into bankruptcy 3 times before Disneyland finally got off the ground.
We're
What
talking
if
about Walt Disney,
Walt Disney,
people.
yes,
The Disney.
what if he had stopped at the first one, or the second one, or the third one? What if he had stopped? Maya Angelou was physically assaulted when she was younger, didn't have a great upbringing at all. What if that had made her go in and she never came out with her brilliant words to share with us? We wouldn't have one of the greatest poets in the world. We wouldn't have her books. We wouldn't have her wisdom. There would be no Oprah Winfrey. There would be no.
Iona
I.
Morris.
That's
Oh,
right,
did I say
doggone it. So
that?
funny. If you guys haven't had a chance, check out Seth Curry's documentary about his life. Man, he was not a good basketball player when he was younger. He got major shit. He wasn't the tallest guy. But what if he had stopped? He wouldn't be the best three throw shooter in the world. He wouldn't
Three
be the
point shooter.
3-point shooter.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. So just those little things to remember, you guys. And that goes back to what Phil was talking about, and before he came on, I was talking about what we've been talking about. Leaving yourself alone in the sense of sticking with what passion you have and staying with it because it brings you joy. And you gotta do it. You just got to do it. As long as it's positive, it doesn't hurt anyone. You just gotta do it. Your mom and dad may go, "Oh, baby, that I don't you okay, my goddaughter, when she'd sing, her mother's a singer. When she'd sing when she was a kid, her mom and I would go, "Good baby," and we go, "Oh gosh, she can't sing. We'll just let her, be." She's got one of the best voices I've ever heard because she loves to sing. And she found her notes. She went from Z to A. She went from A sharp to B flat. She found it on her own because no one stopped her. And if they did, I guarantee you she wouldn't let them.
Well, that's the key. That's it. She was determined.
Yes.
It wouldn't matter what you said or her mother said. I mean, you're as close to her as anybody, and she's like, "I got to do this, Daddy, Mama, I got to sing." That's just the way it is sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And when people are in that place, best to get out of their way and let them find out, because you
Right.
can't tell them. No one can. They have to experience it so that they know how they feel. Um,
And that takes us back to mistakes.
you learn,
You learn, but
you grow.
also, how do you highlight a mistake that you think someone's making? Oh, that's a wrong note. Oh, that wasn't good food. Shoot, try it again. Oh, I shouldn't have put that curry in that soup. Let me add more. Try it again. Stick with it. Stick
Don't
with
give up.
you. Stick with you.
Don't give up.
Hey, baby, I'm feeling. How you feeling? I'm feeling. I'm
Yeah,
feeling
good.
kind of good and
You're
goosey.
hitting.
I
Go
need to
for it.
do
Roll
some
with it.
last statements. Let me see if I can get. Okay, I'll start it, and then I want to make sure I can get you in because you aren't here for me to set you up. But I'll go with me right here with my. Let me see. Let me get there. I am. Hey, you guys. So glad you're here with us on this Wednesday. This was a nice, calm flow to this Wednesday. Remember this, if you choose to. Yeah, remember this. You are perfect as you are. You are the most beautiful soul you know. Oh, sure, your mom may be really great, and your best friend, oh, he or she or they may be fantastic. But I would like for you to know you're the greatest person you know. Because when you know that you are the greatest person you know, guess what you think of those you love around you? Look what you will give to others. You'll know, you will appreciate yourself, appreciate you, so that when you appreciate others, you know what it feels like, and it's coming from a truthful place, because we can never give what we don't live. Ooh, I gotta write that down. We can't give love if we don't know love, if we don't think we are lovable. We can't impart knowledge that we have learned. And as long as you're on the planet, you're learning knowledge. You can't impart any wisdom if you don't think you're wise. Love who you are. Respect who you are. Give yourself a fucking break. And if you make a mistake, laugh at it or cry if you need to and fix it. That doesn't make you a bad person. Doesn't make you unworthy. It doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. You made an error. Learn from it so you won't do it again. Dad used to tell us if the bee bites me, what is it? If I mess up, the bee might bite me once, and that's the bee's fault. But the bee bites me the second time, that's my fault. So don't let it happen a second time. And if it does, because there are certain issues in life, like dating, where you just don't end up finding the right one, you end up still dating those selfish people or whatever it is. Learn from each one of them. Cry your tears, learn from everything that happens in your life that don't go your way. Because like a diamond, baby, you are being chiseled. The shining has happened to make this beautiful jewel that is you. I love you madly. And I'm so glad you guys joined us tonight. And that's what I have to share. Now let's see what Philly Pooly Booty got to share with us. Hey, sweetheart, if
You can keep me in the two. Keep me in the two. That's
there
fine.
you
Keep
are.
me.
Yes.
Oh, what? as unused to being on camera as I am. Um, my theme these days is um, presence. As I said earlier, I've come upon this: be the wheel, be the best you, right? And when you are in that place, when I'm in that place, there are no sharp edges. Um, Answers seem to flow easily. Truths seem to come readily. Uh, when I'm in that place, I just feel connected. I feel as though there's a wellspring of joy and truth that I have access to, and I'm looking to keep that around for the rest of my life. So my challenge is to stay as present as possible, to bring the best of me to this journey as I can. As I do that, I find peace. As I do that, success happens. As I do that, love abounds. As I do that, all of the things that we think we need to work for come to me because I'm not working. I'm just being.
Mm-hmm.
I'm better as an artist when I'm like that. I'm better as a husband. I'm better as a father. I'm better as a brother. I'm better as just a human being when I'm in that place. It's taken me a long time to understand this, especially as a young actor. You want fame and fortune, and we come from a very illustrious family, so I knew it was possible. Excuse me. I knew that the vision was possible, right? We saw it, we lived it. But that's not what you go for. But our society doesn't teach you that. It teaches you got to be better. It teaches you got to go for this, you got to go for that, you got to be this and that. No, you just have to be.
Mm.
And that's very difficult to explain. It's a tough concept to wrap your mind around. Like, well, what do you mean you have to be? I'm right now, I'm being, but I got bills to pay and I got a test tomorrow and I got to show up at work. Sure. And when you pay those bills, you be in the place. When you were at school, you be in that place. When you were at work, you be in that place fully, without excuse, without complaint, with joy and willingness and acceptance. And you tell me if you don't find peace in all those places. So that's what I have to say. It's what I'm working with and what I'm working through right now. And I share that with you, and I'll talk about it much, much more as I continue to test the waters of this.
Mm. It's beautiful, sweetie pie. Hey guys, so let me tell you where you find us. This is where you can find Phil, the Phil Morris, and this is where you can find me. I own a lot of gold. Mhm. And this is our show's information. You are magic, you guys. You really are. Where you can find The Vision is Possible. And I hope if you don't subscribe to The Vision is Possible, I hope you will. And I hope you'll give us comments. And we're just so glad to have you guys here with us on this journey.
It's a blessing. We're honored. Just can't believe it.
Hey,
Check me out on Fire Country this Friday night. I'll be on Fire Country Friday night on CBS.
Oh, awesome.
So checky. I believe it's 8 o'clock Pacific time, which would be whatever time Eastern time. But yeah, I think you guys will really like it. It's a good one.
Is this the season finale, baby? Or is this
This is the mid-season opener.
This mid-season
The last
opener.
one I did was the season finale.
Okay, if you guys have not seen the season finale of Fire Country, see that first, so you can be prepared to see Phil on Friday, because woof, baby, it was fire. It was really fantastic. Really fantastic.
Yeah,
All
good
right,
stuff.
baby.
Well, love you guys. Thank you.
Love you very much, honey bun. And we'll see all of you next week. And
Yeah.
Phil Morris, as I always say when I end the show, bye, Philly.